What is going on, Toy Fam, and welcome to another episode of the Plastic Action UK podcast. My name is Ben Piper, aka Project Piper Customs, and today we'll be doing a full-blown spoiler discussion on Avengers ENDGAME. This is your disclaimer. This is a spoiler review discussion. If you're new here and if you want to talk spoilers, then welcome. If you've seen the film, welcome. If you haven't seen the film but have hopped off to go see the film and come back, welcome. If you haven't seen the film and don't want to know any spoilers, then fuck off. What are you doing? Come back later. Or if you're just a savage and don't care, then welcome anyway. So we'll be doing a full Avengers spoiler discussion, but I cannot do this alone. So here with me, he can make an action figure, a home for your action figure, by carving up some foam. It is Tom from Tom's Dioramas. How you doing, Tom? You good?
Hello. Good, mate. Yourself?
That was actually supposed to rhyme, but I cocked it up because I'm rubbish.
Well,
You know this.
that's fine.
And he's just come back from dropping a captain's log. It is Mr. Plastic Action himself, Karl Smallridge. How are you, sir?
I'm good. You?
Oh, you look lovely. You look lovely right now.
I always look lovely. I did my hair especially for you.
I can see myself in your forehead.
That's it. That's it. It's fucking takes me ages to polish this.
All good. Right, so we're going to get into some spoilers, and we're not going to hold back anything, nor are we going to have any structure. We're just going to dive right in. So I'm going to go around the little roulette table and go with Tom. Tell me some of your highlights, some of your kick-ass favourite moments that nearly made you fist pump the air and get shouted at for blocking someone's view.
I think my favourite moment in the whole thing was probably when Thanos and Thor were fighting and the hammer just comes flying out, hits him in the face, flies back, and then you've just got Cap stood there holding it.
One of the best scenes, actually, my favourite scenes in the entire film.
And it was just like, that's kind of like the payoff since Age of Ultron, when he kind of moved it, and you were like, could he pick it up and just didn't, or what's going on? And then
when Thor jumped out and jumped up and said, "Yes, I knew it," and there's me thinking, okay, during that Age of Ultron party, was Cap? It weren't just a small nudge and then the hammer said, "No, you're not worthy." Was he able to lift it and deliberately didn't?
That's what I think personally,
and just left it and pretended.
Because you saw Thor's worried look during that film when it kind of moved.
Yeah,
I think he knew about Tony's parents, didn't he? So yeah, I think he wasn't worthy for that reason.
For that reason, I thought the hammer decided, "You are good, but I still can't give it to you."
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think, and then so see if that's the case. Not sure what part would have made him worthy now. Maybe all the good that he tried
himself, didn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, seeing the hammer fly into his hands, and then just from there, that one-on-one kick-ass back and forth, just rip the shield, kick, summoning the lightning, which I didn't think. I thought we'd be able to wield it, not summon the lightning. And then Thanos getting his ass beat for about 5 minutes. And before Thanos just went, "No, bye." Absolute jump out your seat moment for sure.
But then that kind of brings me back to one of my main problems with it. But we'll get back to that when we get to the problem section.
We'll save the problem section towards the end. What about you, Karl? What was one of your big highlight Bucky moments?
Well, I think the funniest bit was the knife fight. Well, the not knife fight should have been at the end of the film, where Thor and Star-Lord are there, and he goes, "Well, he knows I'm the captain," and then everybody goes, "Well, I think you should just decide this by a fight." And then someone goes, "What about knives?" And then it just goes around. Everybody agrees, yeah, this is a good idea that Star-Lord should fight Thor with a fucking knife. Seriously, the guy's a fucking god, fat or not. And I just thought, do you know what? This is funny. Because he was shitting his pants. You could fucking see he was shitting his pants. And, it was just brilliant as they were just going around and everybody was agreeing. Even Groot was, get in there. It was brilliant. That was one of the funniest moments of the film. I love that bit. Cause it's just,
I'm in charge. It's like, yeah, you're in charge.
It's
like, it's the Asgardians of the galaxy. It's like, no, I'm in charge. It's my ship. You're in charge. It was great. Yeah,
I'm the captain.
See him go off. I couldn't think of because we always thought that Ragnarok had the good Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it with its colours and outer space and tone. And obviously, one of the best parts of Infinity War was their interaction. So it was just kind of a perfect fit to have go off with them. And obviously, we're hearing that Tessa Thompson saying that Thor 4 is in the works. but then Guardians 3 is in the works. So we're like, okay, is Thor going to do a standalone, or is he going to be joining the Guardians for at least a little bit of part 3? We assume so. He has to be left with them, unless they just cut that entirely and just explain how he went off or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's possibly a bit of a letdown now if he's not there.
Yeah, a little bit. They just want something they teased, but who knows where they're going to go in this new direction. Absolute fuck yeah moment for me had to be one bit in particular, which was just before when Cap got Mjolnir, was actually when the three of them walked out to confront young Thanos. And then just as the fight's beginning, Thor just holds out both hands to summon both Mjolnir and Breaker. And I thought, oh, this shit's going down now, right now. That was just get some moment for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And obviously, then Cap getting Mjolnir. And one definitely easily is Spider-Man's kill mode when he activated it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Just going off with those legs. Definitely an ACBA scene to create once we get a decent Iron Spider figure. Or if the Diamond Select one looks alright, but I'm still waiting for that Mayfix. I know you.
Yeah.
I watched the Infinite Articulation podcast, and of course in the mailbag, and Craig read out my comment. Everyone else obviously chimed in with the Mayfix. I was going to say the Mayfix, but I didn't. I went with the Hulk instead. I left it as a comment instead, but yeah, I wish I'd put that. How much you hate Mayfix now?
Oh, despise them.
Yeah. Oh no, they're shit joints, aren't they? But I mean, so that's definitely an ACBA. There's so many great moments to take from that film that you could translate into a toy shop or get
easily
off one of the big ones. Or some other good kick-ass moments, really. Just in general, I think when one bit that made me laugh hard was when obviously they decided that they're going to go to these different parts of time to get the stones, and they've broken up into their teams, and you've got War Machine and Nebula or Morag watching Peter Quill do his little dance routine to the beginning of Guardians.
Yeah, but it hasn't got the music. Yeah.
That's good.
It's just
that was quality.
Like, what? You get to see it from outside perspective. I just love that whole Back to the Future 2, and they reference it as well. Why have I gone out of focus again? But they've taken that element where you're seeing these films and seen, from a different perspective, right in the middle of them. I thought that was great. What do you guys think about? So go on, Karl.
So I was saying, like, going back onto that sort of thing, when they're trying to get the Tesseract, and you kind of see the end of the first Avengers that you never actually saw the end of.
Yeah.
When they're
in the lobby,
they're telling him not to get the lift. He's just getting.
And then, like, you've got Robert Redford coming back for a cameo. Like little bits like that.
And the whole SWAT team.
That goes on. That goes back to that a good scene with the he goes Hell Hydra, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like that was like a Winter Soldier sort of callback.
Yeah. And then I thought
there was going to be another big lift fight, and then
like a comic book reference, Hell Hydra, and it was just like, oh shit.
There you go. You can have it.
So much fan service in this that was absolutely 100% earned because the amount of time and money we've invested in this thing. So it's like I've seen people complain it's just all fan service. Like, well, fuck off. Yeah, we want fan service.
But the
end of it. So to give us more. So a message just popped up on the screen saying Endgame is now on Showbox. You did not hear that from us.
I think it's a camcorder copy though, from what I've heard.
It will be. Yeah, it'll be terrible.
This is one film you have to watch in the cinema.
Yeah,
without a doubt, you need that on a big screen.
Yeah, it's experience. Actually, going on this, we'll cut in from our thoughts on the movies to. I just want to find out what was your cinema experience like. Watching Endgame, did you have a bunch of knobheads in the crowd, or were you pretty good?
No, mine was spot on. Yeah, no problems at all. It was packed. I think there was only 4 seats, 3 in the whole cinema. Going off the ticket thing was at the front, so it was pretty rammed, but it was all pretty good.
Okay, how about you, Karl? Was it all like you had the double showing, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And during the first film, there were people chatting, and you just thought, "Fucking hell! If this continues into the next film, I'm not going to be happy because this is just fucking, bang out of order." But I'd seen it before, and I didn't think it was great. You see, the first one, the Infinite Wars. Well, it didn't. I didn't think it was a great film. So I wasn't too bothered. But I thought, if this carries on, I'm gonna just go off, just do one. And I'm gonna have him because I just had enough of this shit. But no, come to where the Endgame was on, and it was absolutely silent, and it was amazing, But where I went for the 12 o'clock show in at night, and they've got two screens because it's quite a small cinema, and both of them were sold out completely.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah, absolutely.
12 o'clock.
When I booked, it was actually quite crazy because obviously I was booking for 7 people because we have a crew that we go and see all the Marvel movies with. But for like Endgame, we sort of brought, I had to sort of like, my friends back home and some work friends, and we sort of made it tradition to, with my work friends, that we go to one of these big Marvel films because we all love them. And we go and see them in Leicester Square. We have some food and then we go see it. And then I decided when it came to like Infinity War, I brought my friends up so they could experience it in the big ass IMAX in Leicester Square, and sort of joined the two groups. And we had to do it again for this year for sure. So this massive IMAX, there was only just one screen. So when I was I had heard on April 1st that the tickets were dropping on sale on the Tuesday. I still didn't know if this was just an April Fool's, but on the Tuesday came, I thought I'm going to check anyway, just in case. So I'm there at my desk at work, just with the Cineworld page up, refreshing the London section. Around about 12 o'clock, I see 2 different London branches put their show times up. I'm like, oh, let me check for Leicester Square. Leicester Square hadn't updated theirs yet, but I'm like, I'm ahead of the game. They're updating their system right now. So I was like, right, I'm on it then. Refresh. Wham. Leicester Square came up. I was dived straight in. And at that point, when I booked my tickets, because we have a perfect favourite seats, and I try and get those all the time, only 20 people had booked seats. And it was that quick. I got on there the moment it went live, and 20 people had already booked their tickets. And luckily, I managed to get all 7 of us in the second from back row.
Yeah.
So it's like a music theatre. It all goes up like this because the screen's from floor to ceiling, and then there's that very back row cuts off. So if you sit here, you're seeing the tops of people's heads. So he said the Rex row down is the best row, so you can pretty much clear of anyone being, you're blocking your view. So I managed to snag all them, but within the next hour, every single seat in that auditorium had sold out because I checked again because someone else wanted to quickly try and see if they could join us, and I looked and it couldn't have, all the seats sold out. But I mean, my favourite cinema experience is definitely for Avengers 1 because there's a funny story behind it. And I'll get into that another time. But then when I went and saw Thor Ragnarok, one of my best cinema experiences, just because how funny that movie was, and Infinity War 2. This one, it was okay, but I did have a bunch of noisy people in the back behind us, crunching and opening, and then the kids were dropping their shit, and they were going, oh no, and I just went, oh, shut up. Out of all the 7 of us, I'm one at the very end, so of course I had a stranger next to me, and they're doing the whole elbow thing right across my arm. And that's like, luckily, the friend next to me is leaning that way, so his arm's free, so we all just leant like that in a row.
So I was kind of like, we had the VIP seats, so we had like the big old seats, plenty of room in it.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, because that's the thing. This movie's 3 hours long now. We all peed beforehand. Literally, as we're waiting to get in, we all dived into the loo to get out of our systems. I made sure I drank quite a bit at dinner time and during the day so that I would time my bathroom break right then. I would need to go then. And of course, these 3 hours went by like that. My bladder didn't notice it either. My ass did. Man, when it came to that funeral scene at the end, and I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Please end. Oh, credits. Oh, I've never been so relieved to stand up in my entire life, man. That was fun. That was hard. My heart was so much agony. Yeah, take that the wrong way if you want.
Not for the first time, but
yeah. So that was.
I can't believe how quick it went.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to kind of drag, and then it kind of got to the funeral scene at the end. I was like, has that been 3 hours already? I couldn't believe it. Like,
because it definitely was a strangely paced movie. it seemed to jump very quickly from bit to bit, and it was very random. So obviously at the beginning of the film you have Hawkeye and he's with his family, and of course then he turns around and they're all dusted. We kind of predicted that scene, didn't realise it would be at the very beginning of the movie, or if we'd see that scene at all, we kind of figured if that's what happens, then they might say that that's what happens. I thought they'd just dive straight into the Ronin stuff, and he'll explain why he's doing all that when he meets Natasha. But no, we see it straight off the bat. That shaky cam as he's trying to find his family, that was a bit like, motion sickness a little bit, especially in IMAX, 3D alone. And I was like, oh, please stop shaking that damn camera. Yeah, it was all right in the end. But yeah, and then of course it moved on to another great scene, a more intimate scene that I think was awesome, was Nebula and Stark on the ship. And they're playing the table.
I like that scene. I thought that was really well done.
With Stark and Nebula in the ship as they're playing the football. So I think Nebula absolutely killed this movie. I'm glad she got tons of time, because I feel like since Guardians 1 we haven't really seen much of her. She was, she wasn't much in Guardians 2, and she was just a little bit in Infinity War. So I'm glad they gave her a lot of time. And it was just I like they take arsehole characters and actually make them get on with the good guys a little bit. That's why I like in Cobra Kai when Daniel and Johnny actually start getting along. I really love those scenes. So you get seeing Nebula and Tony trying to actually teach her to have a little bit of fun, even though she can't express it. She's like, this was fun, and so it was quite comical.
Yeah, I think she was one of the best, most rounded characters in it.
For sure, man. Especially when obviously you get old school Nebula, and it's her double agent style going back.
Yeah.
To bring Thanos' ship through, which was genius because they found her pin particles in their head plate, and we're like, oh, what's this? And then made her disguise. I thought, oh, it's fucking great. Just at the moment when Hulk snaps to bring everyone back, and Thanos' shit comes in. But how they tied it in.
I'll come back to that bit when we come to our problems as well. But for now.
For now. So these are the good bits. So yeah, having Nebula's connection with her past self cybernetically and having Thanos realise what he's doing, I thought it was quite a genius move.
That was a good move.
I thought for the film, one of the best bits was the way they, considering everybody, half the universe died, they still had good stories. Like Tony, he didn't want to. For him, it ended really well.
Yeah.
He had a daughter, he had his own place, he had all the things he didn't have before.
Yeah. He kind of just
didn't want to lose that. So rather than everybody on a downer and everybody's, the end of the world, 5 years, we've lost everybody, Tony didn't. And his life actually was better.
Yeah.
And I liked that because it turned out well for him.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it goes back to Steve. And I like where Steve had kind of he's sort of honouring the memory of Falcon by taking up a help group. And similar to what we got in Winter Soldier, he's at the VA helping PTSD for army vets, and this is like PTSD for the snap, and he's helping out people. And obviously he had Joe Russo being the one of the therapy guys saying, I managed to go on a date finally, and it was okay, and it's good, and I really like that, and he's still trying to stay positive. And obviously, I'll tell you one thing though. I know we're going to get onto what you don't like, Karl, but I did find that Fat Thor playing Fortnite with Korg and Meek was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought that was... do you know what? For 3 hours, that could have been cut. It was... Why? Why'd you do that?
I loved that bit. I thought it was great.
He's absolutely depressed that's why at the beginning of the film, when they go and take on Thanos right at the beginning, which I thought, wow, that's quick. Oh, and I again was spotty all over the place here. But when Tony's in the ship and he's dying, gave his message to Pepper. Everyone thought that Gwyneth Paltrow was in the Iron Suit would come and save him. I always called it from the beginning. I said Captain Marvel will be the one that saves him. How is fucking Gwyneth? They're in Titan, right? They're not floating above Earth. It will take her fucking light years to get to Tony. How's she going to do that in an Iron Man suit? It's the stupidest theory I've ever heard in my life. I was like, no, it's obviously going to be Captain Marvel. So, it was. So, yeah, called it. But, yeah, when they decide to go off and take on Thanos, Thor just comes along and just cuts his head off. And he goes, I aim for the head, all depressed because they realise they can't do shit to reverse it. And it's kind of like, it ain't helping, but this is my redemption. I've just taken your goddamn head off. So yeah, to see it when it went 5 years later, that was kind of a shock. But I think Gwyneth Paltrow they spoiled that like about a year ago. And seeing Thor all depressed. I like how they set up New Asgard right on the sort of, it is like where's it, Norway, I think, where Odin died. As Odin said, this is where we can, the goodest place is home. I love the sign though. Please be safe driving or something like that on the road to Hey man, you want to set up the Wi-Fi? I loved it. I love that bit. But you could definitely tell that Thor was depressed as hell, let himself go. And what I don't get is there are people out there trying to blame Marvel for fat shaming what they did with Thor. And I'm like, fuck off. If you're going to get all virtue signaling, actually his representation of the dad bod, they're putting dad bods in there, saying, look, dad bods can fight too.
Yeah, I think it was more, there was a lot of talk about a negative impact or a negative view of depression.
Yeah.
Which I can half see, but at the same time, it's a film.
Yeah. I know. I tell you what, a lot of ladies were disappointed with Thor. They really were.
Yeah.
One thought that when he lightning back up again into his armor, that all of that would just shed away.
Yeah. But also, as my missus said, I finally had a body like Thor, and I didn't have to put any work into it.
Yeah. I have the body of a god.
Yeah.
And it's not Buddha for a change.
I've not heard that before. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like they did sort of pace it. So obviously they're everyone dealing with after the snap. 5 years go by, and I think we can all safely say that the real hero of this film is the rat.
Yeah.
The rat walking over the controls to the PIM van. Talk about convenience, but still.
This is it. The whole movie would not have happened if it wasn't for a rat.
Nope.
True.
Nope. So I'm glad that they managed to get him out. We were wondering how Ant-Man was going to get out of the quantum realm. So
that's one thing that I've been puzzling that since we saw the tease with him waving at the front of the Avengers headquarters.
Yeah. So yeah, and I like, obviously they've created it was kind of their own, but every time travel movie has a theory about how time travel works, and obviously and you can nitpick time travel all you want in these movies, but since no one actually knows,
it's a bit lazy writing.
Yeah, but since someone actually
but there's no other way they were going to get around it, is there?
Yeah, I will go along with any movie's theory on time travel. But okay, this ain't work for you.
But you can't argue something that doesn't exist on its factual accuracies.
What does make sense is the way
he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
well, not about the time travel bit. I'm not. I thought that bit was alright.
So did I. I loved how they referenced all the other time travel movies. Back to the Future, Hot Tub Time Machine. I thought it was genius.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
And which also comes to no. Which brings me to another favourite scene. Definitely, we could talk a lot about their revisit of the Avengers 1 movie. For one, it's America's ass.
Yeah,
for sure. That was hilarious. But when Hulk went to see the ancient one, of course, it was like, oh shit, yeah, of course, the magicians would be there in New York at the Sanctum at the same time. And she's there cutting up bloody Chitauri flyers. And I like how she knew that Banner would show up or something, where she'd be like, you're 5 years too early. It's like, I know what's going on. And it's like, really? Well, you didn't know the Strange fucking gave away the time stone, did you? What? Oh, yeah, I didn't have it. But no, then their little theory of breaking it down was quite cool. But yeah, the whole revisitation, Hulk smashing just in an alleyway, jumping up and down on Chitauri before he runs off. Loki escaping. Of course, that's a different time now, so that's how it's going to, obviously, as we were saying, lead into the TV show.
Into the TV show, yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
Which means the TV show is going to be a non-redemption Loki.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So, yeah, and of course, got to talk about it, haven't we? The massive reveal. Cap just standing there after being beaten. Falcon in his hero on your left.
Yeah.
Avengers theme kicks in. All the portals open.
That's amazing. That was epic when just everyone piles through, and it's just like
Guardians, Wonder Warriors, magicians, the trainees, all of them, and we're like, this is the fodder. And I think Thanos had everything. He had Chitauri and Outriders, or whatever they're called. And yeah, going back onto that, during the big fight, when they're playing hot potato with the Infinity Gauntlet, and all the aliens are chasing Hawkeye through a tunnel, it had a very Aliens feel to it.
Yeah.
That sort of dark gloomy of all of them coming in. So that was kind of a good reference that someone told me about as well. So yeah, that whole scene was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
The final battle, I mean, it was like CG to the max, but you kind of got lost in it. So it didn't really, like, a lot of the time if there's too much CG, it's just, that's kind of what's in your face. But on this, you just kind of went with it. Because it's like, it's everything you wanted to see.
Yeah.
You got Scott where he goes into Giant Man. You know, Scott where he goes, and he just steps on that, he steps on him. And you just think, that was brilliant. Because it's what you would do, crush. There you go. Move on.
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch, most definitely, literally about to rip Thanos in about 4 different pieces.
Well, yeah. Do you know when you got like you've got like Captain Marvel and you've got Thor going, we're the most powerful, beings,
exactly.
and you think, no, she was the most powerful being. She was she was brutal.
Do not piss that woman off. No, exactly. Yeah. Of course, he had to call down the airstrike to stop her. And yeah, so the whole battle was just intense. It was amazing. Everyone got their moment, apart from one person who I'll get into in my not dislikes, but yeah. And the way they ended it, man, nitpicks. But yeah, of course, having it end with Tony, his last word.
Yeah,
just a complete full circle.
To the first film.
Yeah, and what I loved is that this younger Thanos did not give a shit, and he actually changed his play. This is a Thanos when he didn't care about killing anyone. The older Thanos, he had a plan, and he thought he was doing the right thing by letting half live, and that's why he was kind of like, "Oh, my plan's done." And he assumed at the beginning, this one was just like, "No, if this is what happens, clearly my plan has failed, and I'm going to wipe all of you out and start all again."
Yeah,
none of you are going to live, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. So this is an even scarier Thanos.
No coming back from this, is there?
No. So yeah, and then it's just obviously you had the whole Black Order revisited. Yeah, it was just the whole end scene. That last hour was just some of the best cinema you've ever seen in your life. I don't think any superhero movie will top it. It's what the movie 2012 did to Day After Tomorrow. Right, the end of the world destruction in Day After Tomorrow looked like a fucking chick flick compared to what they did in 2012.
Yeah,
so I think this is that. No superhero movie is going to be able to create that. Not for a long time. They can get close, but just that kind of scale, and it was earned. You know what I mean?
But I don't think they need to get that big either.
No.
We've had that big now. That's now go back again.
Get any bigger, and you're right. There's no need to now. So yeah, I think all that was done beautifully, and obviously very, very emotional seeing start go. And the funeral scene where they're panned around everyone. And I didn't realise at the time that skulking teenager at the back was actually the kid from
Iron Man 3, yeah.
The same actor, just grown up.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like nice. And then Happy having his good ending, saying you can have all the cheeseburgers you want. And that's a nice little callback to Iron Man 1 too. And then seeing Cap having his life. I did love that bit where they gave him the task of putting back all the stones in their rightful place, and it's like, all right, we're bringing you back now, and he didn't turn up, and all of a sudden there's this old dude sitting on the bench, and it's him. He said, "No, I decided to stay behind and actually have the life that I wanted to," and that last dance with Peggy.
Tony told me to get a life, so I thought I'd take his advice.
For sure, having Tony have an interaction with his old man, that was quite nice. Seeing that was like, it must have meant the world to him, and he just wanted to tell him that, I've got a daughter, and it's like his way of saying, you've got a granddaughter.
Yeah.
And getting all excited, and realising that his old man did actually give a damn about him. So.
And the whole Morgan thing was a little Easter egg throwback to, it was his cousin, wasn't it, in the comic books, I think, Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan Stark.
So I like they added that in there with the name. How did you guys feel about Falcon taking up the mantle, him passing the shield over to Falcon rather than Bucky?
Shit, no. I think it should have gone to Bucky myself.
I think it should have gone to Bucky as well. Then I thought about it. I really would have wanted it to go to Bucky too, because I feel It followed the beat of the book, but I realised in the MCU, I think everyone still thinks that Bucky's a terrorist. So
Yeah.
I can see why they might have gone for the Falcon. Falcon got it anyway, and there was no problems with Falcon getting it because he does have it. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. But first of all, I would like to see Bucky have it because he's got the suit. You know, he's a super soldier as well.
But this is it. You've given it to a bloke who's like any other bloke, unless he's got his special suit on with his special wings. He's just a bloke.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If you're going to Captain America is a superhero, give it to Bucky, who's got similar powers.
Yeah,
a similar thing about him.
Yeah,
has obviously redeemed himself. Give it to him, and he can actually sort of carry on the work that you've done, as opposed to giving it to a bloke who really just kind of followed you about flying.
Yeah,
and didn't really do much else useful.
No. I mean, I did love the on your left callback, but other than that, he was just very skilled with his wings. He could fly, and that's it. He's great. He's a great hero, but it's like War Machine. War Machine's just again another version of Stark with some more primitive weapons, i.e., like missiles and actual bullets. He's badass. Don't get me wrong, he's badass, but they're there just to be badass. And I'm not sure. I haven't read much of Falcon's book. I'm not sure how much of a story arc they can put for him. I never read much of him being Falcon. I never read much of Bucky being Cap either. I kind of fell off the story after Civil War. I didn't get many opportunities to read books then because that was at the same point in the comics of Civil War as when that finished was when I actually got fired from Forbidden Planet. So my access to comic books would just drop. Yeah. I couldn't just take them off the shelves and read them on my lunch break. No. So yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to go from here. I will say, and I give a fuck what anyone else thinks, the all-female girl power moment stuck out like a sore thumb. It wouldn't have done had it not been for the fact that obviously that's foreshadowing where they want to try and go. I did find it cool that Pepper was in the suit and her and Stark were fighting side by side.
Yeah.
I found that really cool. But the all-female girl power scenes, like, have them all fighting alongside each other, pan them around, have their moment. But it's kind of like, it just felt so forced. It's like, no, we'll protect you. We've got you. And it's all the females. It's like, really? You could have been on complete other ends of the battlefield dealing with your own shit, And suddenly you're all conveniently in one spot to create that moment. Okay, fine. But it is what it is on that. Yeah, see.
Are we nitpicking now, are we?
Huh?
So are we nitpicking now?
Yeah, I think it's a good segue into nitpicking because we all want to talk about the nitpicks. Now, I say this is an absolute quality movie. It really is. We've all thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a great conclusion. But it is it's not without its issues. We did have problems with it.
Yeah, I've got a fucking list.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking list.
Let's just say, this is going to be a fun one. And I heard this not too long ago, and I completely 100% agree. Captain Marvel's presence in this movie, even though it's not much, is very similar to when you get a phone call during sex. It's just like, and then she's gone again. You're like, yeah. Luckily, she's not as so self-involved and up her own arse in this. It's kind of like,
who's calling you?
People at the wrong time. But yeah, it's just like, but yeah, and so I kind of felt she was just there. She did fill out a place. Obviously, had to get Stark back, and she did smash through the ship, a la her own movie. I did kind of like semi fist pump when obviously Thanos tried to headbutt her. Nothing. Okay, boom, slam, and she went flying. But yeah, that was fine. I really didn't like her movie, but she didn't whatsoever ruin this for me. Thankfully, she was sporadically placed, and that was good. The whole key of this movie wasn't about her and all this stuff. It's just like the core six, and this is how the story should end. And everyone had their moment. So yeah, nitpicking. So that's one of mine. Let's go to you, Karl.
Do you know what? There was quite a few bits in there, but I think one of them had to be was it Nebula? So she tells Black Widow and Hawkeye where to get the stone, but she doesn't tell them that one of them's not coming back.
It's true.
How fucking shit is that? That is not what you do to a friend.
But did Nebula know?
You two best friends should go.
How did Nebula know?
She
knew where the stone was because Gamora told her.
Yeah, but
she knew that Gamora didn't come back.
It's in Infinity War when
Thanos didn't tell him.
Star-Lord actually discovers when they've all holding Thanos.
5 years.
Nebula even said, "Yeah, Gamora didn't return." And
so
he didn't know, but she kind of felt that a sacrifice had to be made. I kind of feel like.
So it's 5 years to know. Yeah, you would have known. You wouldn't have just gone. She just didn't come back. I won't ask a question where the fuck she went. I'll just ignore that.
Yeah, but who was she going to ask? The only people that knew were Thanos and Gamora. Gamora is dead, and she ain't asking Thanos anything. Yeah, they could have put 2 and 2 together, but there's no telling that they'd have come up with 4.
So you could take it sort of your own way, really, with how Nebula didn't say. I mean, I kind of agree with Karl. I can't agree with both of you, actually. You look at it and think, actually, how would Nebula know? She did. I would have liked to assume she put it together, knowing that Gamora never came back. And because she kind of, even though she did nothing in the Infinity War struggle when everyone blamed Star-Lord, she just stood there. It's like, one, they script like how I should have ended, addressed it. It's like, she's just standing there. Why can't you come and help? Or come and stop Star-Lord from beating his face. And so that's why I never blamed Star-Lord, because he reacted emotionally accordingly. Finding out your missus just been killed, you're going to lose your shit. I always blamed Thor, and he even blamed himself, and that's a running theme throughout this movie. But yeah, that was a little bit convenient. But going on to that scene, that whole Hawkeye and Black Widow, man, that was tough, because they tried to touch upon they revisited their bond when Black Widow's sitting there eating her peanut butter sandwich and trying to find out where Hawkeye is, and she's knowing what she's doing, and then War Machine goes on screen. She was like an amazing actress in this. They all really did well. And starts weeping, trying to. It's her friend, and you forget how close her and Hawkeye were. So seeing those two fight just to be the one that sacrificed each other, I honestly thought Hawkeye was going to go, and it even kept you guessing, even when they went over the edge. I thought that was just genius. I think it was a bit lazy writing to reuse the exact same music as the Gamora death scene.
Yeah.
And so.
But at what point?
When
if you want the stone, you have to sacrifice someone you love. I get that bit. What I don't get is how suicide classes as you sacrificing something you love.
That's a good point.
Hawkeye didn't sacrifice anything. The only person that sacrificed anything was Black Widow.
No, because it was Hawkeye that had hold of her arm, and she said, "Let me go." Hawkeye did actually let her go, I think.
Yeah,
she did actually said, "Let me go," because he had her holding on to her, trying to stop her from falling, and she said, "Let me go." I think that's what the sacrifice was. But I agree with you; it did look like she. I thought I couldn't remember the scene entirely, but I think she did. He was the one that just let go in the end. That's why he collapsed to bits.
Yeah,
they came back. After all succeeding, but that didn't sit well with me. There's plenty of plot holes in this.
I'm going to kick off my list.
I think
I'll start with Thanos. Because we just talked about it in Infinity War. Between Spider-Man, Stark, Mantis, and Drax, they managed to pretty much, and Doctor Strange, pin down Thanos to a point where he can't move and that far away from getting the gauntlet off him. And this is when he's fully powered up with all the stones.
Yeah.
This film, end scene, no stones, kicking the fuck out of Captain Marvel, who's apparently one of the strongest heroes around, Thor, Cap, Iron Man, without a problem, without batting an eyelid. So how is he stronger without the stones
stronger than Thor, is he?
than he is with the stones?
The only thing I can sort of think of trying to possibly think where they're going with it was the fact that he's no holds barred now. I don't know if he was holding back. I think they might have just also in Infinity War got the surprise drop on him, whereas this he saw all coming, and also he's no shit's given this one, so he can just go full bore. I mean, you see what he did to Cap Shield. He just went for it. It was like Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi against Vader, just chopped away.
Yeah, it seems to me another case of we'll make the characters as strong or as weak as they need to be for a certain scene, as opposed to having anything consistent.
They definitely depowered Hulk and Thor in this. They're not depowered, but like, they lowered them.
No, they did. They depowered him.
Yeah, they depowered. I mean, that's what I mean. When Thor had both, you think, oh my god, he's going to absolutely decimate for this, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Thanos managed to actually get the axe onto him. I'm like, what are you doing? I know you're out of shape, dude, but Christ, you're a god of thunder.
Yeah.
All the power would even out any of these weapons.
Don't forget,
Ragnarok.
the older Thor gets, the stronger he gets. That's been laced through the whole film. So the older he gets, so he is there. Although he's out of shape, he's still a god.
More powerful.
Yeah. So I thought that was a bit strange.
Yeah. One of my massive nitpicks, again going on Thanos, and it kind of counters what I was saying before, which one of the things I love with Thanos is that, and someone brought this to light with me, and I actually 100% agree, is the older Thanos went too soon. I would have loved to have seen the current Thanos, the one that snapped, to be the one on the battlefield, seeing his grand plan unravel before him with everyone coming back, like with that sinking feeling is, I have failed. He needed to see his whole plan fail. Whereas this younger Thanos, who's trying to just, fuck it, let's go, has no idea who any of these people are. So kind of that weight just was a little bit lost for me. And a kick-ass moment and a jaw-dropping as that scene was, this younger Thanos had no idea who any of these people were.
No.
And he even said so against Scarlet Witch. I would just like to have seen older Thanos be the one there to see his plan just unravel and his snap reversed and everyone came back.
Yeah.
I wish that would have happened. And then go.
That's right. How did Thanos and his whole army get there?
Yeah, the open
is one of my main points.
Yeah.
The whole time travel thing was based on, we've got enough pin particles here for this group of us to go there and go back. Nothing else. Even to a point where Cap and Tony had to go back to the 70s and steal more to make sure they could come back. And yet Nebula manages to take what we're assuming is one set of pin particles from old Nebula to get back, and yet can still somehow summon Thanos and a whole army back. They've had all these special suits made for time travel. They have to go through this one little portal, but they can bring Thanos a ship the size of a city and a whole army.
See, I thought he only just brought his ship through and it enlarged and obviously started raining down hellfire on the tower. But yeah, I was like you, how the hell did he get his army through? Because then it's like also makes it the point is, okay, if Guardians of the Galaxy 2 have established jump points that are in the shape of hexagons, why did they need the Tesseract in Avengers 1 to bring down the Chitauri? They could just use the jump point and bring them right into Earth's atmosphere there. But I guess that's a nitpick for a different time. But
I was but the fact is they had no pin particles to bring Thanos.
No, just
let alone Thanos' army.
The rest of them came through. Yeah. I don't know how.
But that portal was based on quantum, which requires pin particles.
Yeah.
So there's realistically no way they could have got him there. And admittedly, it would have been a shit film if he didn't rock up. So I'm glad they did bring him.
Yeah, they needed the fodder. I guess it was so good.
But
just not think of that and just enjoy the fodder of everyone kicking each other's ass. And we did. I didn't even think of that at the time.
Well, no, again, most of this is me thinking too much into something that's
it's nitpick I wouldn't trade it for just to rectify something. I would easily, and that's why I think I saw in another review, someone said, if you could swap out or focus in, let me get the focus going on, there we are. Like some of the plot holes, have them rectified, but it would take away something from the movie, would you? And I'm like, no, I'm all right with the plot holes as is.
It was a perfectly enjoyable movie as it is. It's just, you've got to look at these things afterwards and at least talk about them. It doesn't take anything away from my enjoyment of the film.
No, exactly.
But I can't be one of these people that sit back and go, it was a Marvel film, it was fantastic. And it's like, it was fantastic, but it's not without its issues. No,
hence why I do think Infinity War is the superior movie. Not by much,
I would agree. Infinity War was a more rounded story. Yeah,
it's one of these things. If you watch once it comes out on home video and you're able to watch them back to back, I think the whole thing is just going to be just mental. My biggest gripe is the fact that they wasted Hulk again. They gave us Smart Hulk. Yeah. I liked that. It was a good way of doing something different with Hulk that didn't feel stale. But that was it. After like halfway through, it's like, okay, I get it now. And the perfect opportunity to bring in redemption for him and Thanos round 2. Like, obviously with Hulk being the one that does the snap. Fine, I get it. But he turned around and said, yeah, it's mostly gamma radiation anyway. I was made for this. He did the snap. I would have thought that would have given him some sort of gamma charge. And then as he's helping everyone out the rubble, he would have fucking let Hulk take over, or Hulk force his way out and become world breaker and at least beat the living pants out of Thanos. Just at some point in the movie, that would have been the best place to do it. And they didn't. Yeah. They didn't do anything with him at all. He wasted him once more. And I realised that when they were in Avengers 1 part of the movie and they see Hulk just bashing the shit out of a Chitauri and jump over, I'm like, oh, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Not going to see him smash any more in this movie, are we? Especially, and also solidified it. Great scene. It was funny when Paul Rudd's sitting there with a taco and the jet comes down and everything's all flying out of his taco and he was left with the shell and just stumbles back, gives him a new one. And I was like, oh no, what they're doing. I was like, okay, it's cool. It was cool when the Ancient One punched him out of his body. But we should have got Hulk and Thanos round 2, redemption again. You know, I really think they just wasted that all over again. And that really was let down for me. Because then they said that Hulk would get more screen time in this. And I don't know. It should have happened. And then just have him wreck shop against all the fodder like everyone else is doing. You know, and each of them had their moment of beating down.
But then going back to redemption, I think Thor should have had his redemption scene as well. You know, you saw he was broken, you saw he was out of shape, but I thought at the end, he was going to turn around and he was just going to redeem himself, and he was going to get back into that. Oh, you know, whether he was in shape or not, was just going to go back to the, you know, beat him, you know, senseless, and he didn't. And I just thought it was a bit.
But they couldn't. I can see why they didn't in a way, because the ending had to be about Stark.
Oh yeah,
it had to be about Iron Man. But
I can see that. But
I also think with Thor, they weren't too bothered about wrapping it up because it looks like they're continuing Thor. He's going to be coming back. There's a lot more time to do more with Thor.
Just figured out a way of actually doing it. Is there a point in the movie where the main 6 or 5 or 4, the Cap, Iron Man, and Hulk and Thor, I've got to a point in the battle where everyone else is fighting off all the shit. Is they're actually getting their redemption fights in quick, like they're taking turns beating the piss out of him. Like Thor gets his redemption by just fucking frying his ass. Hulk pounds him to the ground. Tony just fucking beams him in, and then at that point you feel some sort of satisfaction, and then someone could pass the hot potato gauntlet to Thanos, and he can just go like with a power stone, fly him all the way, and then come in with, you're not going to win, I've got the gauntlet now, I am inevitable. And at that point Stark has already gone, no, I'm Iron Man, bye.
Yeah, there was definitely a way to do it, and it just wasn't done. And I just think, you know, that would have been nice to sort of finish that off. Otherwise, you know, he's broken down. You've built him up again. He's done that already in Ragnarok, and now you're just doing exactly the same in this film, but you've just not built him up again. And do you know what? He's not that kind. I don't think he's that kind of character. He's that weak.
I tell you what, his moment with his mum was really good, though. I did enjoy that. It kind of made Dark World relevant. You know, it kind of gives you a little bit more appreciation for Dark World. I never thought Dark World was a horrible movie. It weren't the strongest. I could still watch that over.
No, I think it's up there with The Incredible Hulk as one of the weaker films.
I still love that movie. It's like, I mean, I'll have to get into the ranking of where I put the Marvel films. We'll do that at the end. But
that's a whole other podcast there.
Whole other podcast, yeah. But yeah, I could easily watch those two over a couple of others. But even Ant-Man and the Wasp, even though that wasn't strong, it was still fun.
It was good.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And so it's there are things that left us wanting with the movie. It definitely weren't perfect, but the way they ended it with Tony dying and being the one that goes full circle and the funeral and Cap's obviously getting a life, all that was really, really good. Seeing when Spider-Man came out the portal and he's all excited and, oh my god, it's been like we turned to dust, and then Strange said he needed it, and Tony just shut up, gave him a big hug. Everyone said it was convenient that Stark figured out time travel like that, and he said we didn't. What changed his mind was, you see the two pictures on the shelf, one you can't see, one of his dad, and he's looking at it and you think he's going to take a picture of his dad. He doesn't. He takes the other picture and see it's him and Spider-Man, and he still feels deep down regret for being there when he died, after he said that he would not let it happen to that kid, and that's what obviously made him go for it after saying no and telling everyone to piss off. I've got my life. And he thought, fuck it, let me just see if I can figure this out. And obviously we don't see him create loads of different models and then fail like you do in Ultron. It goes to the one where he's actually done it, it works, and he's like, oh, fuck man, I've just gone and figured out time travel. And he has that
shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Hey Pepper, how you doing? Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah. By the way, I figured out time travel. Just kind of like cut in there. So yeah, how do you feel about it? I might go and do this thing. And yeah, when she's hovering over him and says, like, you can rest now, you've got it. I mean, I didn't weep like physical man tears, but that was enough of a heart punch inside.
Yeah.
It really was. But we knew he was going to get fried after that. But yeah, satisfying ending on that part. He went out like a champ, for sure. Although another thing now that Spider-Man's gone back to school, everyone's 5 years older than he is.
Yes, this is what we were saying. Like, it looks like,
Not
by the look of it, his core of friends obviously must have got dusted, because they're all like, Ned was there, and Ned doesn't look like he's in college.
No,
so
they would all be like further, if they even bothered going back to So it's like they wouldn't be in the same year of school. I mean, I'm not that familiar with how high schools work in America, but they wouldn't be in the same year, or they'd be like fresh seniors rather than freshmen, and it's like they're all going to be 5 years older, because they never set everything back to that timeline. They still had to deal with a post-snap world. It's just that everyone came back now, So it's very interesting.
Which I'm looking forward to seeing how they deal with that in Homecoming.
Yeah,
looking at the state of the world in Endgame, and the Far From Home even apparently takes place pretty much straight after Endgame. Is the world still going to be fucked up? And if so, why the fuck are they taking a school trip to Europe?
Back in a minute, guys.
Okay, mate, no worries. And I don't like the fact that they've suddenly now decided that Far From Home is going to be the end of Phase 3 rather than have it be an Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame should be the end of Phase 3.
Yeah.
The whole point is the end of the Infinity Saga. Make Far From Home the start of Phase 4. Now, I'm like a lot of people, didn't see myself investing anymore after Phase 3. That was kind of the inclusion. And looking at the way they want to go with things now, only ones I'm going to be interested in is any Guardian sequel, any Doctor Strange sequel, and any Spider-Man sequel. Couldn't care less about Black Panther or Captain Marvel. That's just me, though. I'll see if Black Panther 2 is fine, so long as they don't have a fucking political agenda in it, and we'll see what they do with Captain Marvel, if they keep Brie Larson or not. So more often than not, it's just those ones I'm really interested in checking out.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. I mean, I preferred Black Panther over Strange, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Which is strange, because I like Doctor Strange as a character. I'm a big fan of the character, but the film was a bit too Inception-y, if you know what I mean. It was just purely relied on the world turning in on itself more than a plot.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Black Panther wasn't Citizen Kane, but it was a fairly interesting story.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what they do for a sequel.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Black Panther and Cap go on the list of ones I'll never need to watch again. They're the only two at the bottom there. I found, because obviously obviously can't relate to its cultural significance. So judging it just as a Marvel movie didn't do well for me at all. It was poorly scripted for me, and they killed off Claw way too quick. Snow Claw, and I'm sorry, everyone says that Killmonger was a massively great villain. No, he weren't. He had revenge, which was the same as any of the other bad villains, rubbish villains, and one particular villain agenda which no one talks about, and that's what everyone's going on about, and that's one I absolutely despised. But I won't get into that for another podcast. But yeah, for me, those two I could do with not seeing again. I'll see where they go. What angle they go with Black Panther 2 will determine whether I watch it or not. Because I would like to have seen more of them being challenged for the throne. That's why I know they tried to get my focus in. That'll come back. Like within Baku, they really tried to cram a lot in there. They tried to make it. Go to the challenge for that. Claw. They made a whole thing about Claw never being captured, and all of a sudden he's gone. And all of a sudden, Killmonger. I would like to if they save Killmonger for villain, or save Claw for part 2, or Killmonger, and just focused on one of those rather than trying to cram all 3. It had a case of too many villains in that movie for me. But
I mean, the interesting thing now is going to be for 10 years we've been watching these films, knowing what it's leading to.
Yeah.
Even from the start, when you had the Easter eggs thrown into Iron Man 1. You kind of knew there was going to be more. And with every film, you've kind of been watching it and seeing just that the story's continuing, and now it's ended.
Yeah.
So we're going into it now not knowing...
Really having a big overall story. And I was thinking now, what kind of massive event in the books could they do next? Yeah. I was sort of spinning around and maybe Kang the Conqueror, but one, I don't think they've got the rights to Kang, if they do now. But then, of course, that's playing a lot on time travel, which I don't know if people are interested in more time travel in Marvel.
I mean, if they're talking about doing more sci-fi stuff, you can kind of see maybe a Secret Wars thing.
Yeah, Kevin Skrull's Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Maybe a way of bringing in Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer stuff, and maybe some X-Men. I don't know.
And I think like Galactus could technically be the next Thanos. You could have it leading up.
Yeah.
Like, you've only got to throw
that would bring in nicely. That'd bring the X-Men in really nicely, though, wouldn't it?
I think they need to leave the X-Men for a while. If I'm honest,
I don't think they will. I think they will. I think they'll bring them in because they've got them there.
I don't think you're looking at X-Men for at least another 3 years
after Dark Phoenix, which I don't care for.
No, I mean that's coming out this year, so they haven't even been able to touch them until this film is out and finished.
Yeah. I'm glad they're.
Then you've got to look at scripting, casting, filming.
But it'll be. I think it will be part of the next wave. You know, it like you said, 3 years is nothing really. You know, this one was 11 years in the making. So
it's
3
not
years is nothing.
Anything at all. But I think they need to leave the X-Men for a while. If I'm honest, as much as I want to see them do the X-Men,
I think they will be introduced though. I think they will introduce them in this next phase.
They'll have to do something with them at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's an Eternals movie happening.
Yeah.
I think that's to do with a lot of like the elder gods of the galactic portion of the MCU. Not sure, but again, it seems to like even that you still can't figure out what kind of, even if it's true and they don't have a massive overall plan like they did with this one. I mean, I don't even think they had a massive overall plan.
They will again.
Yeah.
There is also, I can see Galactus being heavily involved in something. Even if you just get a Silver Surfer Easter egg at the end of one of the next couple of films.
Or Namor.
Namor. I mean, Namor kind of almost got an Easter egg in this one. So they could well be hinting that they're bringing him in.
Yeah.
But I can just see the Easter egg of maybe not even the Far From Home, but whatever they do after that. Just have an Easter egg of in space looking down on Earth and then just seeing a surfboard coming past. And then stop.
Like a cutscene at the end.
Yeah.
That would reinvest me for sure. That would reinvest me.
I think if they're going to do the X-Men, they need to give it a few years and then start slowly introducing them in other films. As opposed to just going, this is an X-Men film.
Yeah, so I think they'll do. I think they'll use them as cameos. You know, they'll use them as like characters will pop up in various like in various other sort of mainstream Marvel films, and I think that's how they're going to do it. Even if it's just they go to Professor X, for advice or something silly, or he rocks up in his chariot.
But I mean, I want to see Fantastic Four done before X-Men.
Yeah, I do too.
We've had
a good one though.
We've had a fuck ton of X-Men, and some of them have been shit, and some of them have been great. We haven't had a good Fantastic Four.
No, not at all. No, you're right.
Let's try and get it right.
Yeah.
And Marvel can get it right. And
they got Spider-Man right.
I'm not even one of these people. A lot of people care about comic accuracy in their films. I used to be a bit of a stickler for it, and now I couldn't really give that much of a fuck.
No.
Purely because if I want the comic books, I can read the comic books.
Yeah.
I don't have to see that up on screen. If it's something new,
sometimes they don't translate very well.
It's something different. It's something I haven't read. It's something new.
Yeah.
A new experience, as opposed to just seeing what I already know, but with people doing it.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes the comics they just don't translate the film very well, because it's a different medium completely.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to work, don't force it. Do you know what I mean? Work a different angle. The MCU, they've done that already. They've taken a character and they've changed it slightly, and we've seen it and it's worked. I don't think they should. They've
taken ideas and like Civil War.
Yeah.
It's just they've just literally they've taken an idea from the comics.
Yeah. The essence of
changed it up to suit the MCU.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm quite happy because I've read Civil War. I don't need to see what I've read on the screen. No. Give me something new.
It's a fresh take, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, some things they've changed a bit, like making the Eye of Agamotto the Time Stone is a bit shit. Like, it's not a fucking Infinity Stone. But
they had to, for convenience sake,
it works within what they're doing. So you've kind of got to go with it. But like I say, it's not spoiling the comics. If you want to read the comics, then pick the fucking comics up and do it, because they're selling like 3 fucking comics a year now. Like, so fucking go and buy them.
Then
so we can still have them.
Up now. Yeah.
And don't be moaning that it doesn't match what you've already read.
No, exactly. We need don't let the art of comic book movies fall into the hands of just Hollywood writers that have no idea what these characters were or what they were representing. We need good comic stories that can be plucked for ideas to put into these movies to actually keep your comic book reading audience, man. If you just let just a bunch of Hollywood fucking writers have had it, when it's a character, you can make up your own shit. It's going to turn into a pile of crap. I remember hearing when they were making the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, the director of the movie didn't want him to be red or have horns. And it's like, are you kidding? And it's like, that's one of the main essence of it. You can change what his story, what happens in his movie, and not really his backstory. You can do your own telling, but keep it as is. And then, of course, what happens now that we know he's dead, do whatever you want with that, but don't change fucking the essence of what made that character great in the first place.
That's what I say. I like, as much as I'm not fussed about screen accurate stories.
No.
Get like what they're doing nowadays, where they get the costumes right.
Yeah.
Is a big thing compared to what. I mean, look at the first X-Men movie.
Yeah.
When they're all like rocking up in gimp suits, basically.
Yeah.
Because wearing comic book costumes would look stupid. So we're just going to rock up in fucking full-on leather onesies to go fight.
And that comes into where the only good part for me in 2 scenes in X-Men Apocalypse is right at the end, where they're wearing comic book-ish suits, and it's nice to see Cyclops and of course you go into Dark Phoenix. No, they've gone and changed them all again, and they're all wearing the bloody big yellow X's on them. It's like, for fuck's sake, you already did that.
I like that with Endgame. Where you see Cap's suit and you can see the fish scale armor.
Yeah,
they got the fish. And I thought that was really nice. I liked that, and that was a good nod as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good little nod for sure. Yeah. Who else? I think I was like a really good sort of how you would do is like Ronan. That's it. Ronan's outfit was an awesome real world sort of interpretation of that Ronan ninja outfit. We're having it be just like a leather jacket. He's got the knee pads and stuff, but then of course it's just the hood's up and he's got a mask not completely covering his face and eyes, just like a balaclava, And I thought that was a good real world translation of his outfit. It kept some iconic bits, obviously the yellow pinstripe and stuff. So I like good.
They do a really good job at that though on costume design. Think of the Wasp. You could look at her costume and you could actually that's a brilliant representation of it going forward. Of a very modern take on it, a very practical, real world application to that costume.
And another one is Falcon and having Redwing be a drone.
Yeah.
Rather than just an actual bird that he's got some sort of connection with.
It'd be fucking stupid with a bird.
Yeah, and it's like have it be a drone that he controls. And it's like brilliant. And make it mechanical, and it's like, it's good. Good modern way of thinking. Crossbones' outfit, it's just some beefed up body armor with fucking badass Punisher looking mask on. But yeah, it's the costume design is most definitely, I think, anyone's for sure a pet peeve when it comes to anything. It's like if it doesn't look awful good to them.
It's the film, isn't it? At the end of the day, the film is very visual, so you've got to nail that first of all.
Yeah, but it's also very hard to not make it look like you've got 3 hours of people running around in cosplay.
Yeah.
So you've got to try and
like
strike that balance.
Yeah, you've got to, and they seem to nail it really well. So hats off to them. They can do that. And I like the way Cap's suit it's almost the same, apart from the stealth suit, with just minor alterations throughout it. So it's the same suit, and you can see it's
very Avengers 1 was the only different.
Yeah, well that was awful though, wasn't it?
That was
good butt though.
Yeah,
good butt though. It was the
America's ass, but
America's ass.
Thank you, Russos, for allowing a way for him to wear the helmet and have his ears. Rather than just I like the World War II stuff, but the Avengers suit for me is the one that doesn't really work. And the Russos definitely, especially the stealth suit, was one of my favourites. That's why, especially in the comics.
It's
like
a brilliant film,
from Age of Ultron, that's when they just tweak it. They kept sort of a similar style, and they just tweaked it, having white. No, we're going to go full blue arms, beaten up, and even in Infinity War, where he's ripped the star off, but it's still the outfit because it's all he's got. It's all dirtied up, and he's got his sleeves rolled, and I'm getting stuck in now. It's done.
So I think Cap's probably had the best story arc throughout the whole MCU, even more than Iron Man. I think you can see it from the start. Cap 1 all the way through to Endgame. It's just been it's been a great story arc for him all the way through.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier was a great film, though.
I think the Cap films, the 3 Cap films, are my favourite MCU films.
Yeah,
I think, and even that's even bringing the first Avenger in, because I thought that was a strong film, to be honest.
2 of the Cap films are in my top 5, whereas I only got 1 Iron Man and 1 Thor film, but I've got 2.
I think Iron Man 1 is probably the only decent, really, really good Iron Man film.
I liked Iron Man 2, but
I liked Iron Man 2.
Like the end fight with
I didn't like 3.
Tiny and
3 was poor, and they ruined the Mandarin completely. Yeah. And even though they have said there is a proper Mandarin,
no, they ruined that.
In there, it's too late. You've killed off Iron Man now. There's no fucking point.
Yeah, I have a top 5, which there's some joints, and then majority of the rest are in a bubble of all that I like equally. Right, because I can't, they're all. I have my tops, and then I have a bubble of the rest that I like equally, and then right at the bottom of that bubble is Iron Man 3, and then of course the 2 that I'll never need to watch again, Captain Marvel and Black Panther. But the rest are all in this bubble, and then I have my top 5. That's my love. That's the way my list goes. But yeah, Iron Man 3 is definitely the weakest that I can still watch.
Yeah,
I can still. If it's on, I'll watch it.
There was an interesting thing. I was chatting to Brandon about it on Facebook, where he put up a list of the whole MCU movies in order.
Yeah,
and said you've got to look at it and pick out 3 that you love and 3 that your least, like your favorite 3 and least favorite 3 consecutive movies. And I was looking at this and I was like, I can't do either, because there's always 2 that I like are flanked by 2 that I don't. Or 2 that I'm not too keen on are flanked by ones that I like. I can't find 3 in a row. Like they've kind of been.
Yeah. I could do the 3 that I don't like, but finding only 3 that I absolutely adore.
But can you find 3 that you don't like in a row? In a consecutive release order?
That's
it. Right, no.
That's what was throwing it. Is that I could look? You've got Iron Man 3 and Thor 2. 2 of my least favourite, but they're flanked by Avengers 1 and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
2 of my favourites. So I can't do that.
Yeah, it's impossible. Personal taste is all subjective. People got their tops and knots, and everyone's going to be different, and that's cool. That's what's great about these 22
But
movies.
I mean, for me, I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, but for me, from what I've seen so far, there hasn't been a bad MCU film. There's been MCU films that aren't as good. Yeah. But there hasn't really been a bad one. I mean, Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 were probably the closest for me that have been...
Yeah.
Not the best.
Yeah.
There's more... They had moments in them, and there's even moments in Black Panther for me. It's like, I loved his introduction. I love the Black Panther character. I love his introduction to Civil War, and I knew that I would love all of the... And I did. I loved all the Wakanda stuff in Infinity War more than this movie. As a character, Chadwick Boseman is perfect. I love the casting of the rest of them, Baku, and the Dora Milaje. I think they're all great. Casting for Claw was perfect, and I love what they did with Wakanda. Just his own film and the written story in that, I didn't. But yeah, so his introduction to Civil War was fantastic. His part in that, and I love the Wakanda stuff in Infinity War, and even in Endgame when he comes out and he's shouting, Bombay at the chance, and then he's going mental. And of course, we get to see Cap say the line, "Avengers Assemble." But you're right. If you're a 10-year-old girl, you will love Captain Marvel because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's aimed for a very young kid. It's very kiddish and playful with some corny, like Disney teen drama that you would see on fucking Disney, like that kind of drama. Basically, the drama.
Do you watch much Disney channels with young girls?
I used to operate, be an operator at the Disney headquarters in Hammersmith. I used to go there and maintain the coffee machines. And obviously,
the coffee machines.
Coffee. And of course, they'd have it on different floors at different parts of their business, And one floor was all about their teen live action dramas, all that crap. And that sort of kind of felt like the tone was for Captain Marvel, is it was aimed at young girls, and it's fine for them. They all loved it. It's great, but yeah, it's not much enjoyment for an adult. It's kind of how corny. My biggest criticism of Captain Marvel is that it's just lame. I just found it lame. That's just it. And yeah, exactly. And I can't stand Brie Larson, but judging the movie, judging Captain Marvel, I wanted to like it. I thought, cool, let's go. It's just lame. Didn't really work for me. But that's my biggest criticism of it. So when you'll see for yourself when you get to see it, Tom. But I kind of feel that Endgame retconned a couple of things from it completely. I mean, are you worried about Captain Marvel spoilers, Tom?
No, I couldn't care less.
In that they bring in the Tesseract, since it's set in the 90s, that Marvel had the Tesseract, and that she was experimenting with making a quantum warp drive for a spaceship, and that's how Captain Marvel got her powers, because it blew up on her and just covered her with quantum spunk, and from this engine that failed, and of course that was being powered by the Tesseract. I'm like, okay. The last time we saw the Tesseract, Howard Stark was fishing out of the ocean, which kind of made sense of how Fury managed to get it, because they're part of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, because not long after that he formed S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's how Fury had it at the end of Thor 1. Where the hell did Marvel get it from? Right? And then, of course, at the end, you see the cat throw it up because onto Fury's desk. I think that's kind of a stupid way for the Fury to get hold of the Tesseract, but whatever. And of course, in Endgame, when they're going back, and they failed in Avengers 1 part of the movie to get the Tesseract, and they go back again further, and it's with Howard Stark. So it's like, again, at what point did Marvel have the fucking Tesseract? And
but the other way you can look at it now is they took the Tesseract and obviously destroyed the Tesseract to get the stone out.
Yeah.
And then Cap took the stone back.
Yeah.
But there was no Tesseract there to put the stone in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So is that now how they've retconned it, because obviously they filmed Captain Marvel after Endgame.
Yeah.
So obviously everything, all the Captain Marvel stuff and all that sort of stuff was done, and then they filmed Captain Marvel afterwards. So have they done that?
Still the cube.
Preempt?
It's not the gem. It's still the cube.
Yeah.
I
don't know if they have or not, and it's a bit. To be honest, either way you look at it, it's a bit stupid if they haven't explained any of it. But
they really tried. I mean, that's the thing with Captain Marvel. I mean, Fury gets his eye patch because the alien cat scratched him and he got infected.
Yeah.
No. He came up with the Avengers Initiative name because on Carol Danvers' plane, her tagline, like Maverick, was Avenger. And it's like, I know, it's really bad. But one plot hole, and you kind of have your own loose way of thinking about it, kind of left it open, was if going back created an alternate timeline so that your reality still wouldn't be affected, how did Cap, as old, because if he went back and decided to create a life for himself, that would have created an alternate timeline. He wouldn't be able to get back to where he was as an old. So I've seen people's theories are like, well, if he wanted to get to that moment to say, hey guys, I've lived my life, he could have found some more pin particles as he lived his life and decided to hop back again. I don't know, but that would have created an alternate timeline. And he said, this is nitpicking now because I'm a nitpicking fucker, that he would cut off all the branches. So there wouldn't be any more timeline branches. So if he cut off all the branches, and how did he get back as an old man?
But
the alternate reality.
That if he returned that stone last, then they said once all the stones are returned, all the branches are finished.
Yeah.
So him staying there would have just meant there were two Caps in the world.
Yeah.
It's not creating an alternate branch.
As long as he keeps it low key, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, exactly.
He not low key.
Yeah. Puns.
But this is it. If he just becomes Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But then what it doesn't explain is, like, has it wiped out everything that then happens afterwards?
Yeah,
because when he's necking Peggy's niece in Civil War, that would surely be she's necking old Uncle Steve, who she's known since she was a kid, because he was with Peggy. Like, has it changed all of that?
Some twisted shit going on in there.
Like,
Agent 13's a whore.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I've been looking at you for years, and now you're all young again. Like, it doesn't really make any sense.
Oh no. So again, a plot hole. I think you just have to.
But you kind of got to ride with them, really, and and just.
You got at the end of the day, I don't think they could have. They pulled off.
No. And except the fact that it's made like $1 billion in 3 days.
Opening weekend. Man alive.
So it's three twats sat around chatting about it on the internet really isn't going to affect anything.
It will. It will.
None of us are asking for our money back, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to throw more money at them soon and see it again.
The minute that drops on Blu-ray, I'm like, ching!
I'm going to see it at least once more at theatres with other people who haven't had a chance to see it yet. And I think, then I'll hang on. Can't wait for this ban of the toy groups because I want to do some shots on that movie. Annoyingly, one of my, because I'm still doing these Legends reviews, and one of them is the Cap in the Quantum Realm suit. I had a good shot to do with him, which was him standing in front of the armored Thanos, but Cap's in focus, like ready to face him. And of course, then that ended up not in his quantum suit, but end up being a part in the movie. And I thought, well, I could have the hammer. Oh no, there's a ban. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to be doing that shot with Cap with the hammer, for sure.
Yeah, I know. Sharpness Prime put one up earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. But and I've seen a head sculpt painter who contacted me about the Venom head back in the day. He's in Europe somewhere. He's already started sculpting a Endgame Thor with the beard and the braid. So, and he's like going to be taking pre-order soon. So I might cop one of them actually.
But you need a body to put it on.
It's the Infinity War outfit though. So they didn't change.
It's an Infinity War outfit. Yeah. But he's not fat.
Just sculpt it a bit bigger. Yeah, you need a fat suit underneath. So, but yeah, so
you'd have to sculpt it into one of those fat wrestler bodies.
We'll have to Yeah, exactly. Have just his bottom belly button just sticking out.
I mean, that's one figure I can't see like SHF making a fat Thor figure, to be honest. But I'm hoping they make a smart Hulk figure.
That'd be cool.
I think that could be a good figure.
That'd be cool with his vest.
Yeah.
And glasses.
And his selfies.
Yeah.
Fucking
that joke was funny.
That was a cringy moment.
It went on for too long.
It did. And then it just didn't work. You know, the whole Ant-Man, do you don't mind? It just went on. You know, and you're thinking...
That's probably the only point in the film where I was like kind of thrown and remembered that I was watching a film and this bit's a bit shit.
Yeah.
Just left it with Ant-Man saying, it's all right, you don't remember me. And then the kids just walking off. That'd been fine. But no, Hulk kept saying, but you want a kid. And that just made it cringy. They dragged out that joke too long.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But anyway, might have to wrap this up now, looking at the time. But yeah.
I think we've pretty much gone through everything.
Yeah, I think we have. The stuff we want to talk about anyway. So, but yeah, that will wrap it up for our views and thoughts of Endgame. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, or just say hello in the comments would be nice. Drop us something anyway. But,
tell us where we went wrong, or...
Yeah. I mean, it's always good.
If you agree with our nitpicks, or
and if you don't agree,
tell us what you like. Yeah, tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like as well. And
exactly.
And go and get in contact with us, because we're fans just like you are, and we're we just, what would you like to see? Should they make a figure arts, Thor with the belly?
With the belly.
Get in there, get those comments, and we'll forward them on just to figure arts and see if we can get that made.
Would you?
All the people we know at
the dad bods.
Dad bods represent.
That's it. It's a new thing, I tell you.
Absolutely. If they put his skin in Fortnite, that'd be hilarious. But I think they're doing it. Actually. They put Avengers
I wouldn't be surprised. They've got the Black Widow one now.
I think I saw that
because both my kids have got the Black Widow one.
Yeah, that's they put that and the Stormbreaker into. I've seen an advert for that, so I think the kids are going to look forward to that.
They got Stormbreaker, the Shield, the Repulsors, are all weapon like you pick them up in.
That sounds actually pretty awesome. Start playing Fortnite now. Should we start?
It actually looks pretty cool. In fairness, because now you're on those ones. You're fighting. You've got one team where you can pick up the Stormbreaker and the Shield, and my daughter had the Shield. And she's launching it, and it flies off and smacks people and flies back in the film. It's mental. And then the opposing team is all Chitauri.
Yeah.
And then the first one of the Chitauri that finds the first stone that they drop turns into Thanos. And then the whole object of that game is to kill Thanos. And stop him getting the rest of the stones. Once he's got all the stones, you're fucked. So it's mental. It looked. I mean, I ain't got a fucking clue how to play it, but it looked mental.
I might watch some people playing as it and just see what it feels like. But so that's something to look forward to. But
random ending. But
if these toy companies made a Fat Thor, would you buy one? I've gone out of focus because I don't think my phone would even buy one. Let us know what you think of the movie. We enjoyed it. What your dislikes, what your likes, all that good stuff. Let's chop it up and chat. But that'll wrap it up for now. Tomo, where can the lovely people with the interwebs find your face?
Oh, many places. I'm on Instagram, ToyArt2 and Tom's Dioramas. I've got a Facebook page, Tom's Dioramas, so you can find me there and across plenty of different action figure groups, all across Facebook.
All across Facebook. And you're also a panel member on the Infinite Articulation podcast, another great podcast, UK as well.
Yep. Live Sunday nights.
Live Sunday night. So if you want more Thomas in your life, and if you don't, then what's wrong with you?
Who doesn't?
That voice is sexy enough. Head on over there. And Carlos Santana with the lovely shine. Where can the lovely people with the interwebs stroke your digital head?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram on plast_action, or check out the website, which is plasticaction.uk. We've got loads of cool stuff on there. You can check out Tom's dios on there. You can check out your customs, and you can check out some awesome artwork. I'm going to put up Dio site for like local UK artists. So I'm going to put some of those up there. You know, it's just represent, guys. Represent the UK because you know we need it. You know, we're good enough to. So let's get us out there.
Yeah, we've got some awesome dial makers in the UK. We've got one of them on right now. We've got some good customizers in the UK. We've got one of them on right now. And we've got a whole plethora of the awesome toy art and a bunch, thanks to this man over here, our captain, a plethora, and I love the word plethora, is getting back into use, of toy photography tips to help you improve your game. Plenty of those. And we've got Karl's figure shooting with Karl. He takes you behind the scenes of all his latest figure shots, gives you a breakdown of camera settings, his lighting, his staging, all that good stuff. Watch out for those episodes because they really are good. And also use the hashtag PlasticActionUK on your Instagram art, and we will feature them in we'll try and do them weekly, but if it's a bit of a slow week, we might make them a fortnightly feature YouTube video as well. And yeah, keep checking out. We've got more Rewind podcasts coming. Obviously, we'll be doing this, and we're going to start doing reviews as well. So we've got plenty more content for the channel to come. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube at Project Piper Customs. So you can find me everywhere. I'm on all the various toy groups as well. You see this? You won't have to go far to find it. But yes, that will be it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Hit us up on our social medias, give us an email, give us a chat, and look at the website because we've built it for you. All the links will be in the description, and that'll be it for now, guys. Thank you very much, Tomo, Carlos. Thanks again.
See you later, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Next time.
See you soon, guys.
Cheers.
Bye. See you later.
Please be sure to visit Toy Trash, one of the best online UK toy retailers, especially for imports. With free shipping in the UK, there's no reason why you shouldn't head on over there, say hello to Cam for us, and start stuffing that digital basket with lots of deals. www.toytrash.co.uk, founded by collectors for collectors.